In a world that never stops demanding, where noise drowns out clarity and distractions pull us in every direction, few dare to walk the path of true mastery. But the Stoics understood a secret tone that separates the strong from the restless, the wise from the lost. Silence is power, solitude is a weapon, and the ability to remain unmoved in the face of chaos is the mark of those who have truly conquered themselves. Yet, ask yourself, when was the last time you sat in absolute stillness, unshaken by the world's opinions, disconnected from the need for validation? If the thought unsettles you, then perhaps you have forgotten that the most powerful force in your life has always been within you. Today, we unravel the philosophy of self-mastery, the art of moving in silence, guarding your energy, and walking through life unbothered, unshaken, and truly free. Because the greatest transformations do not happen in the spotlight, they happen in the quiet, when no one is watching. Power is not found in control over others, nor in wealth, recognition, or fleeting victories. True power, the kind that cannot be taken, only cultivated, lies within. The Stoics understood that mastery over the world begins with mastery over the self. If your emotions govern you, if your impulses dictate your actions, then you are not free. You are a prisoner of circumstance, swayed by every storm that passes. Ask yourself, do you own your mind, or does it own you? The one who masters his thoughts is untouchable. He moves in silence, unaffected by praise or insult, unshaken by fortune or failure. He does not seek validation, for his confidence is built on something deeper, an unbreakable foundation of discipline and self-awareness. But what does self-mastery truly mean? It is not the suppression of emotions, but the ability to navigate them without losing control. It is knowing that anger, fear, and doubt are not enemies, but teachers. The Stoic does not deny his emotions. He simply refuses to be ruled by them. He understands that pain, frustration, and hardship are inevitable, but suffering is a choice that he alone can refuse. Each day presents a choice, to be ruled by impulses or to rise above them, to wake up and let life dictate your actions, or to take command of your own destiny. A Stoic knows that every reaction, every habit, and every decision carves the person he is becoming. If you neglect yourself, if you let emotions control you, then you will always be at the mercy of the world. But if you train your mind as a warrior trains his body with precision, patience, and unyielding discipline, you will find something rare in this chaotic world: peace. The one who seeks true strength does not announce it, he embodies it. The quiet mind is a fortress, and self-mastery is the key to its gates. Before you seek to change the world, before you attempt to influence others, look inward. Conquer yourself first. Everything else will follow. But how does one begin? Through discipline in thought, action, and intention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is not merely an idea, but a practice that requires daily refinement. The way you wake up, the way you speak, the way you respond to challenge each moment is an opportunity to train the mind, to sharpen your resilience. In a world that thrives on distractions, your ability to stay centered is a form of silent rebellion. While others chase attention, you build in private. While others react, you remain steady. While others fear discomfort, you embrace it as a tool for growth. The road to self-mastery is not one of ease, but one of intention. It is the slow forging of unshakable inner power. Master yourself, and the world loses its power over you. What once disturbed you will no longer shake your foundation. What once tempted you will no longer dictate your actions. You will move through life with clarity, purpose, and a quiet strength that speaks louder than words. If you have never been tested, you have never been strengthened. A blade is not sharpened without friction, and a mind is not tempered without struggle. The Stoics understood this truth. Adversity is not an obstacle. It is the forge where resilience is born. Life will challenge you, it always has, and it always will. The question is not whether hardship will come, but whether you will allow it to break you or shape you. Most people run from difficulty, seeking comfort, avoiding pain, and cursing misfortune. But what if you saw hardship differently? What if, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you asked, "What is this teaching me?" Pain is a masterful teacher, but only to those willing to learn. Every setback, every disappointment, every moment of struggle is an invitation to grow, to become stronger, to refine yourself. The Stoic does not see failure as defeat, but as information. If something didn't go as planned, good. There is a lesson to be uncovered. If life became harder, good. It is an opportunity to develop patience, endurance, and wisdom. As Seneca wrote, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Think of the oak tree standing against the wind. The storm does not weaken it, it forces the roots to grow deeper. Likewise, the challenges you face are not there to destroy you, but to fortify you. The moments of struggle you endure today are the very things that will make you unshakable tomorrow. But only if you let them. Only if you stop resisting and start embracing. Most people view suffering as a curse. A Stoic sees it as fuel. Did you fail? Good. Now you know how to improve. Did someone betray you? Good. Now you understand who truly belongs in your circle. Did life not go according to plan? Good. Now you have a chance to develop adaptability. The hardships you wish never happened are the very ones sculpting you into someone greater. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is not just philosophy, it is a way of living. Instead of avoiding pain, use it. Instead of fearing struggle, transform it into strength. Look back at your life. The moments that defined you were not the easy ones, but the ones that tested you. The moments you wanted to quit, but didn't. The times you thought you were breaking, but instead you were becoming. This is the truth the weak ignore and the wise embrace. The fire that burns you can also be the fire that forges you. You are not fragile. You are not meant to live a life free of struggle. You are built for challenge. You are meant to rise. So the next time life tests you, do not ask for easy, ask for the strength to endure. Because when you come out the other side, you won't just have survived. You will have transformed. This is the path. Walk it. Most people exist, but few truly live. They dwell in the past, haunted by regrets, or they chase the future, grasping at illusions. But the past is unchangeable, and the future is uncertain. The only thing that is real, the only thing that is yours, is this moment right now. A Stoic understands this truth deeply. To waste the present is to waste life itself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not dwell on the future. You will meet it, if you must. with the same reason that guides you today. Yet, how often do we allow ourselves to be consumed by what was or what could be? How often do we let the present slip away unnoticed while we chase ghosts? Think of a river. The water that has passed is gone. It cannot be retrieved. The water ahead is unseen, unpredictable. The only water you can touch is what flows beneath your fingers at this very moment. Life is the same. You cannot rewrite the past. You cannot control the future. But you can control how you live right now. If you are stuck in past failures, you are shackled to something dead. If you are obsessed with the future, you are grasping at air. The Stoic knows this. The present moment is the only battlefield, the only canvas, the only stage where life actually happens. But living in the present does not mean recklessness. It means awareness. It means presence. It means giving your full attention to the task at hand, to the people in front of you, to the breath in your lungs. How often do we eat without tasting, listen without hearing, speak without meaning? Distraction is the enemy of presence, and presence is the key to mastery. Look around you. Feel the weight of this moment. This is where you shape your character. This is where you decide who you are. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, now. Seneca warned, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." How much of your worry is about things that may never happen? How much of your regret is over things that cannot be changed? Release them. They are thieves of your time. The only moment you own is this one. What will you do with it? You cannot stop time, but you can stop wasting it. Live in this moment with full awareness, with full intention. Do not let life pass you by while you are lost in thought. The past is gone. The future is unknown. But this moment is yours. Own it. The strongest person in the room is not the one who shouts the loudest or strikes the hardest. It is the one who remains unmoved. The one who does not let anger dictate his actions, nor fear control his decisions. In a world that rewards impulsivity, emotional discipline is a rare and powerful skill. Ask yourself, do you own your emotions, or do they own you? Most people are slaves to their feelings, reacting to every insult, every inconvenience, every moment of discomfort. They let external events determine their inner state. But a Stoic knows that true power lies in the ability to remain calm in the face of chaos. To feel is human. To be ruled by feelings is weakness. The Stoics never said to suppress emotions, they said to master them. Anger, fear, envy, these are signals, not commands. You do not have to obey them. You do not have to let them shape your actions. When someone insults you, you have a choice. React with fury, proving their power over you, or remain indifferent, proving your mastery over yourself. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the foundation of emotional discipline. You cannot control the world, but you can control your response to it. And that response defines everything. A moment of anger can destroy years of effort. A moment of fear can stop you from taking the step that changes your life. A moment of doubt can rob you of your potential. But if you train yourself to pause, to breathe, to observe your emotions, rather than be consumed by them, you take back control. Think of a fire. Uncontrolled, it rages, destroys, consumes. But in the hands of a master, fire becomes something else. It provides warmth, energy, light. Your emotions are the same. Uncontrolled, they control you, but disciplined, they serve you. So when the storm comes, when life provokes you, when people test you, do not react. Observe, pause, choose. Strength is not found in outbursts. It is found in silence, in restraint, in the quiet confidence of someone who refuses to be shaken. Emotional discipline is the mark of the unbreakable. It is what separates the weak from the wise. And in a world that thrives on reaction, your ability to remain still will set you apart. The strongest person in the room is not the one who shouts the loudest or strikes the hardest. It is the one who remains unmoved, the one who does not let anger dictate his actions, nor fear control his decisions. In a world that rewards impulsivity, emotional discipline is a rare and powerful skill. Ask yourself, do you own your emotions or do they own you? Most people are slaves to their feelings, reacting to every insult, every inconvenience, every moment of discomfort. They let external events determine their inner state. But a Stoic knows that true power lies in the ability to remain calm in the face of chaos. To feel is human, to be ruled by feelings is weakness. The Stoics never said to suppress emotions, they said to master them. Anger, fear, envy are signals, not commands. You do not have to obey them. You do not have to let them shape your actions. When someone insults you, you have a choice. React with fury, proving their power over you, or remain indifferent, proving your mastery over yourself. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This is the foundation of emotional discipline. You cannot control the world, but you can control your response to it. And that response defines everything. A moment of anger can destroy years of effort. A moment of fear can stop you from taking the step that changes your life. A moment of doubt can rob you of your potential. But if you train yourself to pause, to breathe, to observe your emotions, rather than be consumed by them, you take back control. Think of a fire. Uncontrolled, it rages, destroys, consumes. But in the hands of a master, fire becomes something else. It provides warmth, energy, light. Your emotions are the same. Uncontrolled, they control you. But disciplined, they serve you. So when the storm comes, when life provokes you, when people test, you do not react. Observe, pause, choose. Strength is not found in outbursts. It is found in silence, in restraint, in the quiet confidence of someone who refuses to be shaken. Emotional discipline is the mark of the unbreakable. It is what separates the weak from the wise. And in a world that thrives on reaction, your ability to remain still will set you apart. Greatness is not born, it is built. Not in moments of inspiration, but in the daily, disciplined choices that shape who we become. A Stoic does not wait for motivation. He does what must be done, whether he feels like it or not. Because discipline is not restriction, it is liberation. Ask yourself, are you in control of your actions, or are they in control of you? Most people live at the mercy of impulse. They start when it's easy and stop when it's hard. But a Stoic understands that virtue is not about what you do occasionally, it is about what you do consistently. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." The world does not need more words, more plans, more fleeting ambitions. It needs action. It needs people who choose discipline over comfort, who embody their values rather than just speak of them. Discipline is the silent architect of character. The way you wake up, the way you train your body, the way you speak, the way you hold yourself in difficult moments, these are not small things. These are the bricks that build the foundation of who you are. Every choice strengthens or weakens it. A weak man seeks shortcuts. A strong man seeks mastery. And mastery requires patience, effort, and an unwavering commitment to self-improvement. If you want wisdom, study daily. If you want strength, train relentlessly. If you want self-respect, keep the promises you make to yourself. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Hardship is not an excuse to falter, it is the forge that sharpens you." Every time you resist temptation, every time you choose virtue over vice, every time you do what is right instead of what is easy, you are becoming someone rare, someone unshakable. Most people drift through life, controlled by fleeting desires, constantly starting over because they lack the discipline to stay the course. But you are not most people. You understand that discipline is not a burden, it is the price of greatness. And virtue is not a lofty ideal, it is the essence of true freedom. So when the path gets hard, when excuses whisper in your ear, when the world offers an easier way, remember this: discipline is the price, but character is the reward. A man who needs approval is a man who is owned by opinions, by expectations, by the shifting winds of the world. He cannot move without wondering what others will think, cannot speak without fearing judgment, cannot live without seeking permission. But the Stoic walks a different path. He is unshaken, not because the world is silent, but because its noise does not control him. Ask yourself, do you live for yourself or for the approval of others? Do you shape your choices around your own principles, or do you bend them to fit into someone else's expectations? The truth is, no matter what you do, there will always be critics. There will always be those who misunderstand, those who disapprove, those who judge. If you spend your life trying to please them, you will never be free. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinions than our own. What is the use of crafting a life that is impressive to others, but empty to yourself? What good is validation if it costs you your authenticity?" A Stoic does not seek applause, nor does he fear disapproval. He does what is right, not because it is praised, but because it is true to his nature. He moves in silence, guided by principle, unaffected by whether the world watches or looks away. His strength comes from within, not from the fleeting approval of the crowd. Look at history. The greatest minds, the most unbreakable spirits, were often misunderstood in their time. They did not conform, and because of that, they stood apart. If you wish to live freely, you must be willing to stand alone. You must be willing to be questioned, doubted, even ridiculed. But in exchange, you gain something most never will: the ability to live life on your own terms. You do not need validation to be valuable. You do not need permission to walk your path. Stop seeking to be liked. Stop fearing disapproval. Stop letting others dictate what you are worth. The moment you let go of external validation, you step into something greater, a life of self-respect, of purpose, of unshakable freedom. Everything you see will one day be gone. Every possession, every title, every moment of joy, and every moment of sorrow. The world moves forward, indifferent to your attachments, and yet most people live as if what they have now will last forever. They cling, they fear loss, they resist change. But the Stoic understands nothing is permanent, and in that impermanence we find true resilience. Ask yourself, what do you truly own? Your wealth can disappear. Your reputation can be ruined. Even the people you love will one day leave, either by choice or by fate. If your happiness is tied to what can be taken, you will always live in fear. But if you anchor yourself in what cannot be lost, your character, your discipline, your ability to adapt, then no storm can shake you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This is not a call to despair, it is a call to wake up, to stop wasting time, to stop fearing change, to live fully, knowing that nothing is owed to you, that every moment is borrowed, and that the only thing you can truly control is how you respond. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship, it is about facing it again and again without breaking. It is about understanding that pain is temporary, that failure is a lesson, that even the darkest nights give way to dawn. It is about looking at loss not with fear, but with acceptance. Because what is meant to leave you will leave. What is meant to test you will test you, and you will endure. Most people crumble when life does not go their way. But you are not most people. You understand that life is not meant to be controlled, it is meant to be faced. That loss is not the end, but the beginning of something new. That every hardship, every setback, every unexpected turn is shaping you into someone stronger. Seneca wrote, "Fire tests gold, suffering tests brave men." So let life test you, let it challenge you, let it strip away what is weak, so that only the unbreakable remains. Because the world will change, people will change, you will change. But if you embrace impermanence, if you train yourself to adapt, to endure, to keep moving forward, then nothing can truly defeat you. You do not need certainty to be strong. You do not need guarantees to have peace. All you need is the understanding that no matter what comes, you will stand, you will endure, you will rise. The world is loud. Everyone speaks, but few listen. Everyone chases, but few stop to understand why. Most people fill every moment with distractions, noise, conversations, endless scrolling because silence forces them to face themselves. But a Stoic welcomes solitude because in solitude one finds clarity. Ask yourself, when was the last time you sat alone, truly alone, without reaching for a distraction? When was the last time you allowed your mind to be still, to reflect, to observe without judgment? In solitude, we confront the truths we often avoid. Our fears, our weaknesses, our desires all are laid bare in silence, and only by facing them can we master them. Seneca wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." But most people fear being alone because they have never built a mind worth being alone with. They seek company, validation, entertainment, anything to avoid the weight of their own thoughts. But a Stoic understands that solitude is not loneliness, it is self-mastery. To sit in solitude is to sharpen the mind. It is where we reflect on our actions, refine our thoughts, and correct our course. It is where we disconnect from the noise of the world and reconnect with ourselves. Because if you do not know yourself, if you do not understand your own mind, how can you expect to master anything else? Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, people seek retreats for themselves in the country, by the sea, in the mountains. But nowhere can you find a retreat more peaceful, more free of distractions than in your own soul. This is the ultimate refuge, not a place, but a state of being. A mind that is disciplined, calm, and reflective is a fortress that no external force can shake. Solitude is where wisdom is cultivated. It is where the great minds of history found their strength. It is where you separate yourself from the influence of the crowd and develop thoughts that are truly your own. If you cannot think independently, you are not free. So make time for solitude. Step away from the noise. Observe your mind without judgment. In silence, you will find answers. In solitude, you will find strength. One day, you will take your last breath. Everything you have built, everything you have achieved, will be left behind. The world will move on, indifferent to your departure. But the question is, what will remain? What will your existence have meant? Most people drift through life, consumed by trivialities, chasing approval, wealth, and fleeting pleasures only to realize too late that none of it mattered. A Stoic does not live this way. A Stoic understands that life is not measured in years, but in impact. Not in possessions, but in principles. Not in what you take, but in what you leave behind. Ask yourself, if you disappeared today, what would remain of you tomorrow? Not your money, not your titles, but your actions, your influence, the way you carried yourself. Your character is your legacy. The way you treat people, the way you face adversity, the example you set, these are the echoes that will outlive you. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Your purpose is not to impress, it is to become, to refine yourself, to live with virtue, to carve a path so clear that others are inspired to follow. Because the world does not remember the loudest, it remembers the most steadfast. Purpose is not found, it is created. In how you rise each morning, in how you carry yourself, in the discipline you uphold. The smallest moments define you. The way you respond to hardship, the way you stand by your principles, the way you refuse to be anything less than the person you know you can be. Seneca wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it, and the only way to use it well is to align every action with something greater than yourself. A life spent chasing distractions is forgotten. A life spent with purpose is eternal. So live deliberately. Build something that cannot be erased. Strengthen your mind, sharpen your character, uphold your values not for applause, but because it is who you are. Your name will fade, but your actions will remain, and in the end, that is all that ever truly mattered. Life will test you. It will challenge your discipline, your patience, and your ability to remain unmoved in the face of chaos. But remember, true power lies within. You are not defined by circumstances, but by how you respond to them. Master yourself, and the world loses its grip on you. Every moment is an opportunity to grow stronger, to refine your character, to build a life of meaning. This journey is not about perfection, it is about progress. Step by step, choice by choice, you carve a path that is uniquely yours. A path of resilience, wisdom, and unshakable inner strength. Your journey is yours alone, but you do not walk it alone. Keep moving forward, keep refining yourself, and above, alive with purpose.